a man who had seen the colors of the entire world, a fighter who felt pain, defeat, victory, applause, and criticism at every turn of life, and a human being who kept searching for his identity, his purpose, and his creator. This is the story of Jeff Monson, a man who feared no one inside the ring, yet the search for truth changed him completely from the inside. Jeff Monson was born in Minnesota, USA. Like any other child, his early years were filled with simple joys, small dreams, and everyday struggles. But there was one thing in him that stood out from the very beginning: an unshakable desire to win. That desire drew him to the world of fighting. He mastered Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, MMA, and submission grappling, reaching levels that most fighters could only dream of. He earned respect, accolades, and the admiration of fans worldwide. The world saw him as a symbol of strength, a relentless fighter, a true warrior. Yet behind the fame and the medals, Jeff was wrestling with a different battle, a battle invisible to others. Deep inside, he felt a void, a question that fame and victories could never fill: the search for his true self. Moving to Russia was more than a change of scenery. For Jeff, it marked a transformation, a new beginning. And perhaps unknowingly, it was the first step on a journey that would eventually lead him to Islam. In Russia, Jeff began spending time with Muslim friends. He observed something remarkable: the way people supported one another through hardships, the way life paused for prayer, and the quiet strength of ordinary men in a small mosque, willing to bow humbly before their creator. Questions began to rise within him. What is the purpose of life? Why do people feel so alone? Why is life filled with trials? Where do truth, justice, love, and peace truly come from? He engaged in conversations, read translations of the Qur'an, and reflected deeply. Gradually, he realized that Islam offered a strength unlike anything he had ever felt, even stronger than any physical power in the fighting ring. Time passed. His heart grew clear. And then came the defining moment that changed everything. Inside a quiet mosque in Russia, bathed in soft light and gentle silence, Jeff Monson recited the Shahada. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasul Allah. Words that carry centuries of spiritual weight. Words that flowed naturally from his lips and sank deep into his heart. He later reflected, I thought deeply. I questioned everything. And in the end, I realized that Islam is the truth I had been searching for my entire life. In that moment, a world-famous American fighter, a man once defined by lights, fame, and applause, embraced a path that would illuminate his soul. This transformation reshaped more than his faith. It transformed his habits, his thinking, and his outlook on life. He began helping others, listening to people's struggles, and sharing a simple truth. Islam has given me an inner peace, something I never found anywhere else. Jeff Monson's journey reminds us that true strength is not measured by fame or power, nor by the applause of the world. True strength is found when one sincerely seeks, asks from the heart, and opens themselves to the divine. Today, Jeff walks a new path, the path of faith, the path of peace, the path that God grants only to those who truly call upon Him. This is the story of a warrior, a man who conquered the world but found his heart empty, until Islam completed him. Jeff Monson's life changed completely after accepting Islam. The man who had conquered some of the toughest fights in the world had now entered a completely different realm. A realm where power and fame were no longer the ultimate goals, but spiritual peace, faith, and serving humanity took the center stage. After embracing Islam, the first change Jeff noticed was within himself. The man who once measured success by victories and public recognition realized that true strength lies in the soul and faith. He has often said that Islam showed him a path that not only gave meaning to life, but also brought clarity and purpose to each day. Jeff also made noticeable changes in his daily habits. He made prayer a central part of his life, spent time studying the Qur'an and its translations, and dedicated himself to personal spiritual growth. According to him, these small acts, prayer, supplication, charity, bring a peace and contentment that worldly achievements could never provide. After accepting Islam, Jeff's community involvement also changed. He now spends much of his time helping others, mentoring young people, and participating in community programs. He has become an example for youth facing challenges, teaching them that with faith and trust in God, every difficulty can be overcome. Jeff Monson also shares the message of Islam through interviews, public events, and social media. He believes that Islam is not just a religion, but a complete way of life, a guide that makes a person stronger from within, peaceful, and compassionate toward others. He often emphasizes that true success is not measured by fame or material wealth, but by inner peace, faith, and seeking God's pleasure. Jeff has also shifted the focus of his public discussions. Where he once spoke primarily about his fights and victories, he now talks about his spiritual journey, the power of faith, and inner peace. He encourages young people to understand that real happiness and achievement come not from worldly success, but from nurturing the soul and drawing closer to God. His daily activities now largely revolve around spiritual education, understanding the Qur'an, community service, and mentoring youth. He often spends time with those facing hardships, offering guidance, hope, and the light of faith. Jeff Monson's mindset and behavior have changed dramatically since embracing Islam. From being a fighter and a celebrity, he is now a calm, compassionate, and service-oriented human being. He believes that real success is not in trophies or victories, but in spiritual fulfillment and closeness to God. In one interview, Jeff said, "I have achieved everything in life, but the inner peace and happiness that Islam has given me, I never found it in any match or trophy. Islam gave me the light I had been searching for my entire life." Jeff Monson's story teaches us that life's true purpose is not worldly success, power, or fame. The ultimate goal is the completion of the soul, faith, and closeness to God. When a person sincerely turns to God, they find peace, happiness, and truth. Today, Jeff Monson continues his journey. He shares his story and experiences with people across the world, mentors young people, and uses his life as an example of how one can find their soul's purpose. This is the story of a man who had everything in the external world, but felt emptiness in his heart. Islam gave him completeness. This is the story of a warrior who achieved fame and victory in the world, but found true peace only by walking the path of faith.